Good afternoon, one and all present here. Good afternoon, Simran. So for you, it's a
Afternoon.
morning here, and
Yeah.
welcome you to this technical session 3 of ongoing webinar on future engineering with data science. So as a part of this ongoing webinar on future engineering with data science, we are now at the third technical session, and this third technical session will be delivered by Ms. Simran Gibson from Northumbria University, Newcastle, UK. She will be delivering the talk on detecting spam email with machine learning, optimized with bio-inspired meta-heuristic algorithms. Let me just share you a few little detail about Simran. Ms. Simran is the student coordinator in the Northumbria University. Currently, she is in masters and handling mostly the cell, cybersecurity cell, and she has her expertise in malware analyzing, programming, and network with respect to the cybersecurity. She has published the paper on the related topic in some reputed journals. She will be enlightening us with how this detection can be done of the spam emails with machine learning, and how the different bio-inspired meta-heuristic algorithms works in machine learning and as well as in the data science. So hope Simran will enlighten us about this with this. And now I over to Simran. Yes, please, Simran. Simran, your mic is mute.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Costa, for this. I'll just present my screen. Can you please confirm that you all can see my screen all right and hear me okay? Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. So good afternoon, everyone, and good morning as well to those who are watching from YouTube. Firstly, I would like to thank Assam Don Bosco University for inviting me to this talk for this webinar. I'm Simran Gibson. Currently, I am pursuing a master's degree from Northumbria University, which is located in Newcastle City in United Kingdom. My course is computer networks and cybersecurity, and it is my final year. So today I will be sharing my experience with working with a machine learning project that I did for my bachelor's as a dissertation, which is titled Detecting Spam Email with Machine Learning Optimized with Bio-Inspired Algorithms, and how it relates to cybersecurity. So just a quick agenda of this presentation. I will give a quick overview of the university, followed by the project purpose and its relation with cybersecurity. Then I will explain the machine learning algorithms that were utilized within this project, along with the algorithms that were used to optimize these models to get an accuracy or the acquired outcome, and what was concluded with this experiment or the project overall. So just quickly from left to right, the very first image there is shows where the Northumbria University is located. It's in the northeast of England. The second image is our computer science building, where I currently work with the labs and the lectures. And the third image is taken from within the labs. It's the resources that we use to do our lab work. So you can see those are like the routers and switches there. And yeah, those basically are the resources that we currently use in our cybersecurity course. So as you may all know, that there are many threats that can be addressed within cybersecurity, such as cross-scripting on a web page or DDoSing a network. But threat via spam email is still a challenging area because it's not possible to avoid human error, which is why spam email makes it like an easy target for this. So through spam emails, malwares such as viruses, worms, and even ransomware can be incorporated within, making the user or the company data vulnerable and at risk. So once a spam email has done its job, whether it was as phishing or opening a backdoor through a virus to a user's device, it can cause a lot of disruption in terms of sorting and re-imaging those devices. And sometimes it's usually the case where an antivirus fails to detect such malware because the hash values is not inputted within the antivirus to detect. So because it's a manual input, it can take a lot of manpower to sort this out as well. So I don't know if you guys are aware of the spam campaigns. There has been a famous one. It's like a supply chain attack. So this is where a company gets a phishing email or a virus embedded within the email. So if a user within that company, that particular company, opens the email or the attachment, it sends an email to their contacts, which could be related to another organizations. And then again, same with the second organization, something similar can happen, resulting in sending the email to the third organization, thus creating a chain of cyber threats. Or it could also be like a Bitcoin mining. I don't know how many of you are aware of Bitcoin mining. It's a program that usually uses your CPU power to mine the Bitcoins online. So it could be the case where the email has an embedded link within. When you click the link, it drops that. It's not exactly like a virus, but it's a part of malware, basically. So it actually maps well from our previous session from Mr. Vicky's, the example of the embedded DLL files, which can also be used within the spam emails to threaten the user security. So a good solution for this can be machine learning to detect such emails because it's automated. We can train the machine learning models to detect a threat. So this project aims in analyzing such machine learning models to try and implement it within Python programming language. So the project also takes steps into tuning such programming models with bio-inspired algorithms and to acquire the results with the best working models that's affected to detect such spam emails. So this is like an initial idea. This is when the software will be deployed on a network. What the software will do, it will take the new email that comes into enters the network of the organization, analyzes that email or pre-processes it, feeds it into the machine learning model, that is the train and test algorithm, and then evaluates the outcome. So if it's the outcome being the spam email or a ham email. So if it's a spam email, it should basically discard it. And if it's a ham email, when I say ham, it means legitimate emails. It should be sent straight to the users, or the address users. So for doing this project, we explored a lot of I explored a lot of different materials. Some of the materials I'll be mentioning in this presentation. So these are spam emails datasets. So these are some of the spam email datasets that were valid for the project. Anaconda framework, this is to implement the Python programming language within. It offers Spider and Jupyter IDE. Weka, now Weka is a tool which initially acted as a black box for the project. So I used at least 14 different classifiers on the different data sets. And then I was able to select the top 4 models to implement further. A lot of implementations were done with scikit-learn libraries and modules. This is a part of Python libraries. And it was just used for various activities. So since the normal standard laptop, it can be difficult, have some difficulty to run such machine learning models, there are online platforms such as Google Colaboratory and Kaggle. These are good because they've got embedded like GPU techniques to run the models even faster, and it's just much quicker than to run on a standard laptop. So for a machine learning model to actually process this kind of data sets, the one that I mentioned in the previous slide, it needs to be pre-processed, which means it needs to be readable for the machine to actually do something. So this is actually done by removing the stop words. Now, stop words are the common words that we used in our daily speech, such as the, in, and, a. Now, without these words, the text will be shorter and we will have a text. So say when the email comes in, these words are removed. And once these words are removed, we've got a text with random words that does not that does not form a sentence. So the next step we can do is tokenize. Now, those words can be useful if we are using natural language processing, but we are not using natural language processing in this experiment, so we are just discarded to reduce the amount of words within the email set. Now, each of those words, after eliminating the stop words, can be tokenized. So each of those words will be classed as a token within the emails or the text. And then we can use count vectorizer, which is to find the features and then make each of those tokens readable for the machine learning algorithm. Now, to ensure that the outcome of these models are evaluated properly, cross-validation can be applied. So k-fold cross-validation is one of the cross-validation techniques. I've got an example here. So say we've got 5 iterations. The k in k-folds will be substituted to 5s, which makes 5 folds cross-validation. So as an example here, we've got 1,000 emails. Now, 800 of those emails are classed as training data and 200 are classed as testing data, thus making this as an 80-20 split set between training and testing. So there could be a case with the normal cross-validation where during one of the iterations, say during the second iteration, the testing data, so all those 200 emails would actually be just spam email or just ham email, which means the model's not actually getting a good amount or good weight of spam and ham to test against or predict against. So we can solve this issue with stratified k-fold cross-validation. Now, there is another thing called stratified k-fold shuffle, which can be used to split the data sets. So these are all available with scikit-learn library. And usually the scikit-learn library in this project was used to pre-process, create a vocabulary, and call the ML models. So here I have a diagram of the Python programming structure. So the program will take the data set, then it will pre-process it, and it will feed it into the machine learning or bio-inspired models. Then from the range of parameters that was set initially, it will cross-validate and give the best parameters. And then those best parameters will be taken further to train the data set with the training data, and then test it and then get the accuracy at the end. So this project problem is being identified as a classification problem, and the best approach for this is to use a supervised learning method. Now, what does it mean by supervised learning method? It's basically when the data set or a single data set is being distributed between training and testing. So in this case, the testing data actually does not contain any labels. So the training data will have the data points as well as the labels. The model will train with those words. It will recognize whether ham email or spam email contains those words. And in the testing data, it will predict with comparing what it's learned previously. So these are the data sets as mentioned in the previous slides. Now here, link spam, enron spam, spam assassin are alphabetically based data sets, which means it's got the alphabets as well as numbers within the data set, whereas the PU1, PU2, PU3, and PUA are purely numerical, which means it does not contain any alphabets within. I also tried to evaluate the best working approach by splitting these data sets into multiples, such as 60-40, whereas 60% of the data set will be training and 40% will be testing, again with 70-30, 75-25, and 80-20 respectively. So just a bit of information about the data sets that were used within the project. So as you can see from the table, we've got the name of data sets. Each data set, it says how many emails are presented within, and then it gives the rate of spam emails or the weight of spam emails within those data sets and when they were published. Now, the last one, that's the Enron spam, is actually divided into 6 different data sets. So technically, we're using more than 7 data sets, but we're just going to, for sake of it, we're just going to say we're using just 7 data sets. So these are the references in case anyone would like to, I don't know, try out some machine learning algorithms. Like there are some simple algorithms that can be found online. You can use these data sets with them just to experiment. So Weka application is basically a tool that has a feature that allows a selection of classifiers to run on selected data sets. Now, the table here shows the average accuracy that was taken. These are in percentage, just so you guys know. The average accuracy was taken from each algorithm within the Weka, and the highest accuracy was provided by multinomial, naive-Bayes multinomial, SMO, J48, and random forest. Now, we tried 3 different naive-Bayes, and naive-Bayes multinomial was the highest amongst them, which is why I continued with implementation for naive-Bayes multinomial. So as you can see, the top 4 accuracies have been highlighted on the screen. Now, SMO is actually a variation of support vector machine. I will explain these algorithms in the next slide. And similarly, J48 is a variation of decision tree. So now for the machine learning models, once they were evaluated with Weka, as we mentioned in the previous slides, we've taken the 4 top models. The very first one was multinomial naive Bayes. Now this is a this is to resolve classification problems using probability techniques. So the multinomial naive Bayes classifier actually uses multinomial distribution, which means more than one outcome is provided by the algorithm as a probability based for a given feature. That's the spam words within our data set, focusing on the term frequency. So this is just the average taken out from each data set once it was implemented with scikit-learn and cross-validation. As you can see, the score of naive Bayes are a bit low right now. Now, the second one was the SGD, which is stochastic gradient descent. Now, this is an optimized version of SVM, which is the support vector machine. And this version can handle large data sets better than SVM itself. So support vector machine, what it does is plots each node, that is the data points from the data set within a dimensional plane. So you can imagine like a 2D dimensional plane. And then through a classification technique, the cluster of data, that is spam or ham, are separated by an imaginary hyperplane into their respective groups. So for example, take the screen here. If you split the screen into half, this is actually the hyperplane. And say this side will be spam emails and this side will be ham emails. So when the testing is happening, if the data point is near this side, like this side of the plane, it will just say, it will predict that that is in ham email because it was close to this cluster here, basically. And these are the results for stochastic gradient descent. It's higher than naive Bayes. The third one, we've got random forest. Now, this algorithm predicts the classes by using multiple decision tree. So where each tree predicts a classification class, this is like evaluated by the random forest model overall to select the higher number of predicted class as in a sign prediction. So for example, if a email comes in and it's got say 10 decision tree algorithms within, and each of them says it's a spam email, but 2 says it's ham email. So weighting that, random forest will evaluate and it will just class that email as spam because majority of the decision tree predicted it as a spam email. Now, these are the results for random forest. As you can see, it's the lowest so far. And the last algorithm was decision tree. So decision tree is a model based on a predictive method. Again, the model creates a category which is further distributed into subcategories to get the outcome basically, and it creates like a tree structure. So the algorithm actually terminates either if the user says so. So it will create half a tree and users terminated the process, but it will still give something out, or it will wait till the like the variables have been inputted within the tree to say when to terminate. Now, as I mentioned, these accuracies here we've taken as an average from the 7 data sets, and it was implemented with cross-validation applied to it in Python. If we say 95% as a baseline, 3 of the algorithms have not done very well, and these are with the default parameters from the scikit-learn libraries. So to improve those scores, bio-inspired algorithms can be combined with these machine learning models to find either an appropriate parameter or do a feature extraction or feature reduction. But in this project, we've done to get the parameter, which is also referred to as parameter tuning of those machine learning models. So the bio-inspired methods used are particle swarm optimization, that's PSO, and genetic algorithm, GA. So these were the top 2 mostly used bio-inspired algorithms throughout the machine learning process, or different projects basically. So we thought we'll see how it works with the spam emails. So what exactly is particle swarm optimization? Now, it's based on a swarming method that's observed in fish or birds. The particles are evaluated based on their best position, so like the single particle, and then they try to achieve the overall global position. That's the best position of the swarm itself. So particle within a search space are scattered, as you can see from the bottom right GIF there. And once the particles are scattered to find the global best position, this is conducted by initializing the population. That's the population of each particle, the population of the swarm. So basically how many particles within the swarm. And then it's defined a search space, which again tries to find the global best position. So the top image there actually shows the single particle communicating with the entire swarm to get the updated position. That's from red dot to black dot. So PySwarm's library is a Python-based library, which is really good and helpful to do hyperparameter tuning. Again, it's got different feature, like different uses to do feature reduction or feature extraction. So that PySwarm's library was very helpful for this project. Now I've got a little demonstration here for the PSO algorithm, that's particle swarm optimization. Let's see if it's playing. Yeah, so this is where the program loads the data set. In this case, we've got spam assassin data set. It loads with the model multinomial naive base with 60-40 split set. The program runs for 25 iterations with the PSO parameters as C1. So that's the thinking capability or cognitive parameter of the particle. Second parameter was C2, which is the social parameter. And the third is the W, which is the inertia, so how fast they are going to find the global best value. So as you can see, once the program is terminated, the program selects the parameter for the multinomial naive Bayes. Here the variables were alpha and fit prior. And in the end, it actually produces a confusion matrix. So the accuracy here, so this was only for demonstration purposes. So the accuracy it provided here was 99.83. Now you might think that it could still be better. So, but if you look at the confusion matrix, you can see that only 2 emails were misclassified. So to have 100%, basically the difference was 2 emails. Now, the second bio-inspired algorithm is the genetic algorithm. Now, this is an evolutionary algorithm based on Darwin's natural theory that selects the fittest individual from a given population. So this involves principle of variation, inheritance, and selection. The algorithm maintains a population size, and the individuals have a unique chromosomes that are binary represented, that's 0 or 1. So the algorithm iterates through a fitness function where the best individuals are selected for reproduction of the offspring. Again, this is done by initializing the population and creating the new population. A helpful library here was a TPOT library. Again, I've got a little flow chart that just shows the process flow of the algorithm itself, where you initialize the population, then you initialize the fitness, which is done by selection, crossover, and mutation of those genes, and then it provides the selected survivor. And then the program looks into termination. If it's not to be terminated yet, it will repeat the process all over again, or else it will just return the parameters for the machine learning models. So similar to particle swarm optimization, this is just another demonstration for genetic algorithm program. So just to give you an idea, same model, that's the MNB model, was used with the same split set and same data set. The program runs with 10 generations with a population size of 40 and offspring size of 20. Now, once the pipeline is completed, it provides the parameters similar to PSO. So in this case, again, it was alpha and fit prior parameters, variables. And it provided the similar result or the same result at PSO, that's 99.83% with 2 misclassified emails. We got to do something about those emails. So as a part of comparison purposes, neural network model was also explored, which is MLP. This is a feed-forward variation of an artificial neural network algorithm, which means the models, as you can see from the image, we've got input layer, hidden layer, and output layer. So there could be actually more than one hidden layer between the input and output. So what the feed-forward neural network does is from input 1, so all the inputs in our case are the spam words. So the input layer, it will go to the hidden layer. It will not go back to the input again to evaluate. So it's a feed forward. So it will only go forward and it won't create a loop or a cycle. So the data mechanism can go from input, hidden to output, and then provide a result from it. Now, these kind of models can actually take a lot of computational power. When I say a lot, it took me 6 hours to just do it with 5 neurons. So it was running on Google Colaboratory, and it took actually more than 6 to 7 hours to actually complete it. So again, what we did was just to get an idea, because if we put more neurons within the hidden layer, it could cause more time constraints on it. So we compared the models with 5 neurons and 15 neurons. So as you can see from the screen, the blue is the 5 neurons and orange is the 15 neurons. The 15 neurons did much better than the 5 neurons within. So it just concludes that more neurons, the better the results will be. So we also applied PSO and GA algorithms on it to get an idea of what results could have be occupied through it. So it could be kept for a future implementation, actually. So PSO performed better than genetic algorithm with this neural network model. We also use like activation function is just to see how fast it can perform on different types of data sets, basically. So again, this is again a comparison purpose. So scikit-learn library actually offers tuning models with cross-validation incorporated within them. So we thought it would be a good idea or a good approach to compare it with the bio-inspired algorithm to see how well they work with our implementation. So the first one is a grid search CV, which takes the parameters range of a given model and applies over a parameter grid. Meaning it takes consideration of each and every parameters that was given into the range to the model. Whereas the second one is the randomized search CV. So this runs over a parameter searching instead of parameter grid, which means it does not include all possibilities. If it finds the parameter, it will just terminate the program. So from the results, as you can see, grid search CV seems to have performed better than randomized search CV. Now, these models can actually be used in future implementation, trying to improve the machine learning models in terms of incorporating or combining them together, just to see instead of stratified k-fold cross-validation, if we apply one of these, what could happen. So these are basically the outcome from throughout the project once we have applied the bio-inspired upon the machine learning models. Now, as you can see from stochastic gradient descent, we've got a bit of improvement with PSO algorithm when compared to the model with the default parameter. Now, the default parameter, as the base one here, is the one that we tested very first with the cross-validation. So it was purely the default parameters taken from the scikit-learn library. So as you can mention from the previous slides, we did see the multinomial naive Bayes was one of the lowest performing algorithm. But as you can see from this graph here, once it was tuned, the accuracy performance improved magnificently. So basically it took 8+% to give this outcome, which was really impressive. Now we've got decision tree here. Again, there's a little bit of improvement here. Genetic algorithm performed the best amongst the other tuning algorithms. A better way or to improve this further could have been used more variables within the model itself, or more range of parameters. And again, same as multinomial naive Bayes, random forest, which was the lowest algorithm, performed very well once it was tuned with bio-inspired as well as the scikit-learn tuning library. Now, as you can remember, we were testing with different split sets. So in terms of evaluating and concluding with the split sets, it seems like the more you train these models, the better it will predict within the testing environment, which is why 80-20 split set provided really good accuracy in terms of predicting the spam email detection. So these are the 5 models. 4 of them are the machine learning, and the 5th, that's the MLP, is the neural network. Comparing them to each other, you can see multinomial naive Bayes was the highest achieving algorithm. So I thought it would be a good idea to just distribute between the alphabet and numerical data sets. So this basically shows the split set between those two types of data sets. On the left figure shows the performance of the multinomial naive Bayes algorithm, and the accuracy is higher for the alphabet-based data set than the numerical-based data set. But overall, compared to the Bayes algorithm, it has provided really good accuracies of the detection. Now, the right figure shows the stochastic gradient descent. Again, similar to naive Bayes, alphabet-based datasets provided higher accuracy or detection accuracy than the numerical one, even though there were some good improvements in the numerical as well. So comparing both of them, the accuracy is higher on the alphabet datasets, and the split set 75, 25, and 1820 have worked better than split set 60, 40, and 70, 30 for these two models. The next one we've got on the left is the decision tree. And now decision tree again has worked better with the alphabetical based as similar to the other two models, whereas the numerical, again, there's been a little bit of accuracy improvement, but not as much as we'd like to see. And the right figure shows the performance of random forest algorithm between the numerical and the alphabetical dataset. So this tree-based algorithm seems to have worked well with the numerical in place of improving the accuracy than the alphabet ones. So that was a bit of surprise. Now, just to compare the results with the work already done in the past by other researchers. So I hope you all can see my screen okay here. We've got, so this table here is actually being taken from the published paper. I will give you the details of the paper in the end. Now, this table shows the author and the date it was published, and what data sets they use within their experiment, and what classifiers and optimizations were applied to their methods, basically, and what they achieved at the end. So this is the outcome here are the accuracy. So accuracy meaning how well the model actually predicted or detected. Precision is where the proportion of the positive identifications from the data set. So it's out of the entire data set, how many positive it detected. Recall is where they say how many positive outcomes that were actually correct. So precision, overall positives, recall the correct positives from the overall positives. And then F1 score, which is the weighted mean between precision and recall. So comparing to the previous results, we've got our work here. That's the Gibson et al. Basically. And as you can see, our work has either performed better than their work, or it's provided similar value with like 0.01 here or there kind of thing. And this is just the overview of the complete project, which is distributed into 3 levels or stages, where the first stage is to distribute the data set and to clean it. The second stage was to apply the machine learning with bioinspired. That was our proposed method. And the third stage was to actually get the accuracy or evaluate those models by training and testing the data set. So just a summary and conclusion of the overall project and the presentation. So the objectives were to successfully manage to create a automated machine learning model for cybersecurity purposes in identifying the potential threats. As conclusion to the project, genetic algorithm actually worked better with naive Bayes especially. So the highest accuracy provided, if we take from data sets, was the genetic algorithm with naive Bayes on spam assassin, that was 100%, with the values, that's the alpha as 0.01, and fit prior as false. And as a future implementation, we would further research and we will be looking into deep learning algorithms, that's like CNN algorithms or RNN, as well as more bioinspired algorithms such as artificial bee colony or firefly or ant colony. So thank you very much for attending this session. please feel free to ask any question in relation with this presentation. If you'd like to have a more look into this project, please navigate to the DOI, paper DOI, presented in the bottom right-hand corner. So I don't know if you've got any questions. Just thank you very much. I would just like to say that cybersecurity industry can be very rewarding, and such research can keep us, not only us, but the future generations safer while browsing the internet. I would say cybersecurity doesn't mean just one class, actually. It can map into programming, network security, web security, or other different branches. But if you would like to ask more questions and you don't feel comfortable asking here, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. It's just Simran Gibson, and I'll be happy to answer the question. I'll try my best, I promise. No? Okay. Oh, do you want to, sorry. I'll stop sharing. Let's finish a bit early. No questions? Have I bored you guys? Sorry about so much charts.
No, sir, no.
Oh, well. Thank you very much.
Really good job. Enjoyed listening to you. There are so many techniques which you have shared with everyone. I think a lot of it can be used by many of us. So just wanted to say kudos to you, doing a lot of this with just the spam assassin data or just the spam data. But if you are keen on exploring more, I can share some of the other data sets. But yeah, I didn't want to take the opportunity out of others to ask you questions, but I just wanted to put this out there that in case you want to play with some more data sets, I'm happy to share.
Yeah, that'll be perfect. So actually the presentation or the experiment was done with the 7 different data sets. But yeah, I'd definitely probably get in touch to explore more data sets.
Sounds good. Cheers.
Thank you.
Really nice work, by the way. Good one.
Thank you very much. Same to you as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've got some. Oh, I think I've got the link to, shall I just share the screen again to present the links that I've got on the presentation? Oh, wow. So this one here, we've got the, yeah. So actually, this is actually one person experimenting with the link spam, the PU corpus basically, and Enron spam as well. So I haven't really looked into the other data sets. The reason I chose these data sets because it gave a broad area in terms of numerical as well as alphabetical. So the PU ones were actually very challenging to do with because they didn't have any alphabets within. So in terms of applying natural language processing onto them, I think that would be another challenge. So that could actually be like a future work within this project.
Simran, I have a question. I probably have missed the other data set. So, were you able to extract URIs or URLs and then did further analysis on those?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so some of the emails, I think in Spam Assassin did contain some URLs. So because it was like a purely text-based, it did not actually look into the headers. So I think that could have be another area to explore, to look into the headers and the IP addresses and block them instantly. But I think in terms of spam, and I think one of the Enron had some like the URLs kind of within it, but there was nothing to do with the attachment. So I don't know if that answers the.
No, that's good. Yeah, I mean, absolutely, as you said, like headers, the attachments, and it does give a lot of that. But I was just curious in case you extended your work to those artifacts.
Yeah, but that's a good idea, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting.
Yep, good one. Thanks.
So any more questions?
Any more questions from the participants?
Yeah. Thank you everyone for such lovely comments. It was absolutely an honor to present to you guys. It's been very nice.
Yeah, thank you very much, Simran, for sparing your time with us on this very early morning. Thank you very much. Some of our students in our university also working in a similar domain. Definitely will discuss with you later in later times. Okay, our some 2-3 projects are going on, not basically based on this cybersecurity and all, but machine learning based, but based on some other datas, like in the communication fields, in 5G communication, as well as some projects are going on in agricultural field, machine learning in agricultural field.
Oh, brilliant. That sounds really interesting, actually.
So, I hope we'll collaborate in some later time.
Yeah, sure. Happy to.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.
Please convey my best wishes to your Professor Vijay Isaac.
Oh, well, definitely. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, thanks everyone.
Thank you all the participants. I hope you enjoyed the sessions. So we come to the end of this third technical session of this ongoing webinar on future engineering with data science. So we are left with the fourth technical session and the last technical session that will be on future engineering with data science. And the fourth session will start sharply at 3 p.m. So fourth session will start at 3 p.m. and that will be delivered by Professor Y. Jayanta Singh, the Director of National Institute of Electronics and Information Technology under MeitY, Government of India. So he will be delivering on future engineering with data science. Okay. See you in this fourth session for the time being. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thanks everyone. Bye. Have a lovely day.
Okay. Bye bye. Bye Simran. Have a good day. Hope you'll join in the fourth technical session also.
Yes, I will.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll be sharing the. And participants, I have already shared the link for the fourth technical session as well. So please join through the link. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, madam.
Bye. Thank you.